Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box.
The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the voice of Philippine business. Established by a dynamic group of individuals with strong leadership presence and passion for business and economic development. An influential alliance of business leaders providing policy directions to government and ensuring sustained economic development. This is the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. On April 19, 1886, three of the largest Spanish companies in Manila formed the Cámara de Comercio de Filipinas. Following the downfall of the colonial Spanish government, the popularity of La Cámara waned, and a new organization of Filipino and Chinese mestizo businessmen established the Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, CCP, in 1903. Barely half a century after, a group of industrialists founded the Philippine Chamber of Industries, PCI. On July 1, 1978, the two chambers merged, giving birth to the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, PCCI. In September of the same year, PCCI was recognized as the country's single voice of business through Presidential Letter of Instruction 780. After more than a century, the Chamber continues to chart the course of economic development in the country. Lending its voice to the government, PCCI continues to be at the forefront to influence public policies in the areas of agriculture and food security, banking and finance, capital market development, energy and power, water utilities, environment, formal and technical vocational education, infrastructure development, intellectual property and innovation, international trade, local economic development, taxation, SME support services, tourism, and transportation and logistics. Covering business comprehensively to ensure the business expansion and country's future growth and progression through its partnership with the government, local chambers, and other stakeholders. PCCI's programs and services include enhancing business environment, SME development, environmental protection and management, corporate social responsibility, national and countryside development, business services, access to local and international training programs and scholarships, publications, breaking grounds with pioneering minds, PCCI is a dynamic force that offers its members fresh new ideas, new choices, and creative new approaches. From only a handful before the turn of the century, the PCCI family has grown to more than 1,600 direct members, more than 100 industry associations, more than 100 local chambers, and around 35,000 SMEs nationwide. To ensure alignment of its advocacies and activities, the PCCI works closely with government, other business groups, donor organizations, and international agencies, as well as the academe. The PCCI also provides a platform that links local firms with the global business community. PCCI also engages foreign chambers, diplomatic corps, international agencies in search of broader trade and economic cooperation. The Philippine Business Conference and Expo is the most important annual activity of the PCCI and one of the most prestigious events in the country. Local and foreign companies wanting to establish new ventures or seeking new markets find it highly attractive to attend due to the many benefits it offers. Every year, more than 800 stakeholders attend the conference, composed of key government officials, business leaders, diplomatic corps, foreign chambers, multilateral donor agencies, PCCI corporate members, bilateral business councils, local chamber and industry association leaders. With resourcefulness, ingenuity, collective ideas, and strength, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry remains steadfast in its principles of business growth and development. Pioneering, innovating, and trailblazing. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry will remain as that. One voice of business in the country.
Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box.
humble ourselves and pray. Lord, we seek your face. We humble ourselves and turn from our wicked ways. Father, in your mercy, forgive our sin. Father, in your mercy, come heal our land. Lord, heal our land. Father, heal our land. Hear our cry and turn our nation back to you. Lord, heal our land. Hear us, O Lord, and heal our land. Forgive our sin and heal our broken lands.
Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box.
A leading business and investment center in the Bicol region, the province of Camarines Sur is known for its agro and agri-industrial expansion, IT innovations, and social and infrastructure development initiatives. Confidence in the local economy and the provincial government is driving entrepreneurship and accelerating financial transactions. And with sustained peace and order across community in the province, business and investors are assured of a secured environment. Sustained public investments in critical infrastructures and facilities capitalizes on the province's strategic geographic locations, expansive agricultural lands, and scenic tourism destinations, while protecting its gifted and hardworking human resources, continuously enhancing their skills, have built a local economy resilient to external shocks and threats, such as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Today, the province of Camarines Sur, under the guidance of Governor Migs Villaferte, is enabling business and investment opportunities, sustaining growth and development, and transforming lives of its people and partners in a globally competitive and highly resilient climate. United under a common and shared vision, Camarines Sur is facing a contemporary challenges of our times with transformational and decisive leadership. To address the challenges of comprehensive area development in the province, massive road infrastructure projects were initiated: the Camsur Tourism Coastal Highway, the Quezon-Bicol Expressway, Pili Central Station, bypass roads, and other road networks. These mega projects in the integrated Luzon spine network ensures 2 hours savings in the travel time from Manila to Camarines Sur, making the province an attractive place to live and work. Camsur is poised to be the home of one of the largest international cargo ports in the world, expanding the country's economic corridor and connecting the region across the globe. Camarines Sur, the Philippines' gateway to Western Pacific region trade. To intensify the benefits of the transport-related infrastructure, Camsur also embarks on widespread sitio electrification and power line enhancement programs, construction of the iconic Capitol building as one-stop shop hub for business transactions, and development of special economic zones and industrial parks. By integrating our communities and business, as well as tourism and industrial zones, we create a growth corridor that increases accessibility and reduces the cost of business operations. Prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, the provincial government of Camarines Sur has already implemented various interventions, policies, and programs aimed towards ensuring continuous operation of businesses. Camsur has established the first IATF-designated hospital isolation facility outside of Metro Manila, The province also launched the Hospital on Wheels for patients in special or high-risk situations and employed healthcare backpackers modeled from the Cuban healthcare system to serve as active case finders. As a result, Camarines Sur was one of the first provinces to transition to MGCQ, allowing businesses to recuperate immediately and opening doors for the emergence of the new MSMEs. To further support local businesses, CAMSUR pushed for the procurement of locally manufactured face masks, face shields, alcohol, and other personal protective equipments or PPEs. The province also implemented a tax subsidy and incentives program to stimulate and encourage small and medium entrepreneurial activities. As we move forward to a post-COVID-19 scenario, the province of Camarines Sur boasts its readiness to shift to the expected new normal through the intensified research and development and upskilling our workforce. While COVID-19 is our most immediate threat, we continue to pay attention to the broader issues of our contemporary societies: digital connectivity and integration, environmental conservation, and global climate change adaptation. To support food security while investing in more sustainable alternatives, we invested in a NIPA bioethanol production project, in aquaculture demo farms, soft broom making from tiger grass in upland communities, gabot productions from raw abaca, and bee culture demo farms. Finally, we believe that investing in our people is key to making it in the expected new normal. Our business expos, technology fairs, construction and agricultural summits, youth entrepreneurship congress, and food beverages expos have consistently provided a platform for consumers, business, and industrial interactions. The expected new normal, they say, is digital. This is why we have to prioritize building our digital infrastructure and upskilling our students and workforce so they can adapt and survive the digital new normal. Our modern Wi-Fi ready classrooms, e-learning initiatives, and other skills development programs are just some of the ways that will make Camarines Sur digital future ready.
Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box.
Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. Culture for economic resiliency and industry innovations on New Normal. As a domestic non-stock, non-profit, and non-government business organization, the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated continues to strive in increasing competitive edge and innovations on entrepreneurial culture among Bicolanos. Since 2002, the CSCCI serves as a province-wide organization of committed businessmen and entrepreneurs who will serve, among others, as a private sector arm of the provincial government in the thrust to promote the economy of Camarines Sur. Being awarded as the Most Outstanding Young Chamber in 2005, a finalist to the Most Outstanding Chamber in 2018, 2020 recipient of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Parangal para sa Katuwang sa Lingkod Bayad, and recipient of the Most Outstanding Chamber Award 2019 in South Luzon, the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated is beyond inspired to uphold its vision of a robust business community legging up at all levels of national and global economies, with a culmination of breathing life in its mission to secure the long-term interest of all members and take a lead role in policy advocacies of all spheres of economic activities. in pursuit to its commitment and advocacy of improving and sustaining competitive position of local businesses in both national and international markets, CSCCI has continued to promote its Giant Steps objectives. The success of ComSur Business Expo affirms it as one of the most sought-after business expos in the region and heightens our desire to introduce innovations even amid situations wherein we are challenged. The COVID-19 pandemic that we face is a newly opened gate of challenges wherein CSCCI bravely takes on by providing the business industry regular platforms for inspiration and mentoring. CSCCI remains positive in reimagining and promoting business-as-usual environment in the promotion of sustainable development and finding solutions to key challenges faced by the business sector. The ComSur Chamber ensures proper representation to national, regional, and/or local policymaking bodies to actively participate in the steering of public programs, fuel economic growth, and foster good public-private partnership. This 2020, CSCCI has influenced a local policy on truck ban affecting easy access to and from of our prime commodities and trade. Its leadership steers the region by strongly opposing Provincial Ordinance Number 011-2020, which prohibits trucks from traversing the National Road or Maharlika Highway within the province of Albay. Strengthening Chamber's influence in the localities in its membership and affiliations to private and funding institutions as well as governmental entities. The ComSur CCII, in partnership with its member training institution, the Center for Creative and Technical Skill Institute or CCTSI Incorporated, recently launched its first industry-based education and training program for the cooperative sector, the TESDA Co-op Competency Courses. This framework provides a consistent foundation upon which all programs, policies, and requirements is mapped to ensure that a focus on cooperative competence is maintained. Recognizing the importance of collaboration and partnership for both local and international business success, CSCCI officers and members joined forces and voluntarily traveled to Taiwan for a business benchmarking trip in early January 2020 to gain insights on innovative business strategies and explore global business opportunities. The CSCCI also utilizes Hanap.co, an online shopping destination designed and created by ComSur CCI past president Rico Evangelista, showcasing chamber members' products and services in a click. The organization banks on partnership with various entities, contributory efforts with its members, and the empowerment and capacity building programs for the marginalized groups. It regularly collaborates and closely supports social outreach projects and advocacies of the province and nearby areas.
Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box. We would like to thank our valued partners for the year 2021. Province of Camarines Sur, Department of Agriculture Regional Field Office 5, Department of Trade and Industry, Angena Trading, GCI Construction and Development Corporation, Julia Outdoor Advertising, Jurassic Construction and Supplies, Pixeled Solution, Medlane Enterprises, Ngo & Sons Trading and Industries Incorporated, SVM Marketing Solutions OPC, Tugawi Cove Resort, and Samgyup Masarap. Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box. Thank you to our generous sponsors. Moraleda Farms. Bronze sponsors. Area Vice President Clarine P. Tobias. PCCI Antipolo. PCCI Bacoor. PCCI Camarines Norte. PCCI Lipa. Metro Naga Chamber of Commerce and Industry. PCCI Palawan. PCCI Puerto Princesa. Donors: Albay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, PCCI El Nido, PCCI Marinduque, PCCI Quezon, PCCI San Pablo, PCCI Taytay. Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box.
The threat of COVID-19 has changed the Philippine socio-economic landscape in many ways. Over a year, we have been forced to choose between safeguarding our personal health and our own economic survival. But now, there is a better choice. There is a safe space where we are free to work, to socialize, and do business, where we can be a community. Welcome to the world of CSCCI Vertex. Experience our immersive and interactive digital platform where online meetings, webinars, and virtual events are just one click away. Where you never have to leave the comfort and safety of your own home. Bringing together all the elements of a real business expo. This digital platform not only hosts virtual events, but also features an interactive virtual exhibition hall where consumers can explore, shop, learn, and be entertained. With CSCCI Vertex, businesses can showcase their products and services, link to external websites, offer downloadable content, monitor participation, generate electronic certificates, manage mass SMS and email distribution, and create a consumer database effortlessly in real time. This is the power of CSCCI Vertex, and now we are putting this power into your hands, powering your business for a better normal.
Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box.
The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the voice of Philippine business. Established by a dynamic group of individuals with strong leadership presence and passion for business and economic development. An influential alliance of business leaders providing policy directions to government and ensuring sustained economic development. This is the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. On April 19, 1886, three of the largest Spanish companies in Manila formed the Cámara de Comercio de Filipinas. Following the downfall of the colonial Spanish government, the popularity of La Cámara waned, and a new organization of Filipino and Chinese mestizo businessmen established the Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, CCP, in 1903. Barely half a century after, a group of industrialists founded the Philippine Chamber of Industries, PCI. On July 1, 1978, the two chambers merged, giving birth to the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, PCCI. In September of the same year, PCCI was recognized as the country's single voice of business through Presidential Letter of Instruction 780. After more than a century, the Chamber continues to chart the course of economic development in the country. Lending its voice to the government, PCCI continues to be at the forefront to influence public policies in the areas of agriculture and food security, banking and finance, capital market development, energy and power, water utilities, environment, formal and technical vocational education, infrastructure development, intellectual property and innovation, international trade, local economic development, taxation, SME support services, tourism, and transportation and logistics. Covering business comprehensively to ensure the business expansion and country's future growth and progression through its partnership with the government, local chambers, and other stakeholders. PCCI's programs and services include enhancing business environment, SME development, environmental protection and management, corporate social responsibility, national and countryside development, business services, access to local and international training programs and scholarships, publications, breaking grounds with pioneering minds. PCCI is a dynamic force that offers its members fresh new ideas, new choices, and creative new approaches. From only a handful before the turn of the century, the PCCI family has grown to more than 1,600 direct members, more than 100 industry associations, more than 100 local chambers, and around 35,000 SMEs nationwide. To ensure alignment of its advocacies and activities, the PCCI works closely with government, other business groups, donor organizations, and international agencies, as well as the academe. The PCCI also provides a platform that links local firms with the global business community. PCCI also engages foreign chambers, diplomatic corps, international agencies in search of broader trade and economic cooperation. Philippine Business Conference and Expo is the most important annual activity of the PCCI and one of the most prestigious events in the country. Local and foreign companies wanting to establish new ventures or seeking new markets find it highly attractive to attend due to the many benefits it offers. Every year, more than 800 stakeholders attend the conference, composed of key government officials, business leaders, diplomatic corps, foreign chambers, multilateral donor agencies, PCCI corporate members, bilateral business councils, local chamber and industry association leaders. With resourcefulness, ingenuity, collective ideas, and strength, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry remains steadfast in its principles of business growth and development. Pioneering, innovating, and trailblazing. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry will remain as that. One voice of business in the country.
Please follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box.
If my people humble themselves and pray, if they seek my face and humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven and forgive their sin. I will hear from heaven and heal their land. Lord, heal our land. Father, heal our land.
follow these webinar guidelines. To the speakers, kindly mute your audio if you are not the speaker yet. To the attendees, please rename your account in this format: name of chamber or organization, dash, first name, then last name. Please input your questions in the Q&A box.
A leading business and investment center in the Bicol region, the province of Camarines Sur is known for its agro and agri-industrial expansion, IT innovations, and social and infrastructure development initiatives. Confidence in the local economy and the provincial government is driving entrepreneurship and accelerating financial transactions. And with sustained peace and order across community in the province, business and investors are assured of a secured environment. Sustained public investments in critical infrastructures and facilities capitalizes on the province's strategic geographic locations, expansive agricultural lands, and scenic tourism destinations, while protecting its gifted and hardworking human resources, continuously enhancing their skills, have built a local economy resilient to external shocks and threats, such as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Today, the province of Camarines Sur, under the guidance of Governor Mix Villaferte, is enabling business and investment opportunities, sustaining growth and development, and transforming lives of its people and partners in a globally competitive and highly resilient climate. United under a common and shared vision, Camarines Sur is facing a contemporary challenges of our times with transformational and decisive leadership. To address the challenges of comprehensive area-rated Luzon spine network ensures 2 hours savings in the travel time from Manila to Camarines Sur, making the province an attractive place to live and work. CAMSUR is poised to be the home of one of the largest international cargo ports in the world, expanding the country's economic corridor and connecting the region across the globe. Camarines Sur, the Philippines' gateway to Western Pacific region trade. To intensify the benefits of the transport-related infrastructure, CAMSUR also embarks on widespread sitio electrification and power line enhancement programs, construction of the iconic Capitol building as one-stop shop hub for business transactions, and development of special economic zones and industrial parks. By integrating our communities and business, as well as tourism and industrial zones, we create a growth corridor that increases accessibility and reduces the cost of business operations. Prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, the provincial government of Camarines Sur has already implemented various interventions, policies, and programs aimed towards ensuring continuous operation of businesses. CAMSUR has established the first IATF-designated hospital isolation facility outside of Metro Manila. The province also launched the Hospital on Wheels for patients in special or high-risk situations and employed healthcare backpackers modeled from the Cuban healthcare system to serve as active case finders. As a result, Camarines Sur was one of the first provinces to transition to MGCQ, allowing businesses to recuperate immediately and opening doors for the emergence of the new MSMEs. To further support local businesses, CAMSUR pushed for the procurement of locally manufactured face masks, face shields, alcohol, and other personal protective equipments or PPEs. The province also implemented a tax subsidy and incentives program to stimulate and encourage small and medium entrepreneurial activities. As we move forward to a post-COVID-19 scenario, the province of Camarines Sur boasts its readiness to shift to the expected new normal through the intensified research and development and upskilling our workforce. While COVID-19 is our most immediate threat, we continue to pay attention to the broader issues of our contemporary societies: digital connectivity and integration, environmental conservation, and global climate change adaptation. To support food security while investing in more sustainable alternatives, we invested in a NIPA bioethanol production project, in aquaculture demo farms, soft broom making from tiger grass in upland communities, gabot productions from raw abaca, and bee culture demo farms. Finally, we believe that investing in our people is key to making it in the expected new normal. Our business expos, technology fairs, construction and agricultural summits, youth entrepreneurship congress, and food beverages expos have consistently provided a platform for consumers, business, and industrial interactions. The expected new normal, they say, is digital. This is why we have to prioritize building our digital infrastructure and upskilling our students and workforce so they can adapt and survive the digital new normal. Our modern Wi-Fi ready classrooms, e-learning initiatives, and other skills development programs are just some of the ways that will make Camarines Sur digital future ready.
Nine, eight, seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live from CSCCI studio in Camsur, Philippines. When poverty strikes, hunger occurs. When economy plummets, unemployment prevails. These are the apocalypse that every country is escaping from. No one ever dreamt, no one ever wished. The global crises gripped every country to economic paralysis. Natural disaster like virus infiltration coupled with corruption of every man's greed, creates a smear on the face of progress. This is the SOLABC, the concord of newfound champions, the business sector who draws the lines and contours the new surface of progress. True to its advocacies, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, through the South Luzon Area Business Conference, conceives initiatives in improving lives through business and industry. At the onset of the global pandemic, the business sector was crippled, creating a hole in the Philippine economy. Thus, the SOLABC, anchored in the theme Innovative Economy, a better normal for all, aims to be the mitigating medium that bridges the gap between economic recovery and the people by introducing and embracing innovation. Zero hunger, ensuring food security in South Luzon. A proactive move for the PCCI in alleviating the pressing needs of the Filipino people. Food security guarantees physical, social, and economic access to safe and nutritious food so that no Filipino shall go hungry. Sustainable cities and communities, adapting to climate change. This is the power to empower. The PCCI, in its crusade to develop the countryside, highlights the need to recognize the impact of climate change, while offering the means to successfully adapt to the changing environment. Industry innovation in infrastructure. With the goal of keeping at par with the technological advancement of highly industrialized nations, comes a need to make innovative changes in infrastructure and management on a national scale. With surgical precision using the right tools, a technological facelift for the business industry could remake the face of business in South Luzon and raise the self-confidence of budding entrepreneurs. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, through the South Luzon Area Business Conference, shall be the voice of business for Southern Luzon and for the entire archipelago. Through this forum, the ray of hope in alleviating hunger, eradicating poverty, providing sustainable employment for better economy through industry innovation and infrastructure, shall shine the brightest. When cities and communities work together, a promise of better future is solid. Thus, the global sustainable development goals are achieved. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry shall breathe life in sustaining partnerships for the goals. This is the PCCI, improving the countryside in making difference worldwide. The PCCI and its regional and provincial counterparts have convened in making this cause a realization. With their allied forces of being the champions in alleviating poverty and hunger, these noble men have broken the bounds of their abilities, beyond the tightness of time, beyond the loom of the pandemic, blowing on the trumpets as we welcome these men in the virtual parade of colors.
Welcome to the 30th South Luzon Area Business Conference,
the largest annual gathering of the local chambers in South Luzon, organized by the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, hosted by the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, with great pride, we present to you the PCCI South Luzon Local Chamber Presidents. From Region 4, Aurora M. Macavinta, PCCI Bacoor. Virgilio C. Hernandez II, PCCI Cavite. Marvin P. Adolfo, Laguna Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. Fernando Jose Maria A. Alvero, PCCI San Pablo. Raul D. Mercado, PCCI Batangas. Noraida M. Morada, PCCI Lipa. Glady P. Malyari, PCCI Rizal. Bryant O. Kim An, PCCI Antipolo. Engineer Elmer C. Espiritu, PCCI Taytay. Elizabeth R. Enverga, PCCI Quezon. Dr. Federico A. Cabailo Jr., PCCI Oriental Mindoro. Carmelita R. Reyes, PCCI Marinduque. Jeffrey A. Armedilla, PCCI Palawan. Josette A. Cortez, PCCI Puerto Princesa. Conrado N. David, PCCI El Nido. From Region 5, Marian Giovanna M. Berzuela, PCCI Camarines Norte. Engineer Armando L. Aman, Metro Naga Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Rosemary Quinto Rey, Albay Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Charles P. Clemente III, PCCI Sorsogon. Attorney Susan Ubalde Ordenario, PCCI Catanduanes. And the vice chairpersons are Sally C. Lacson, Regional Governor, Region 4, and Mergy N. Moraleda, Regional Governor, Region 5. This year's 30th SOLABC chairperson is Clarine P. Tobias, Area Vice President for South Luzon. SOLABC is one of 5 area conferences leading to the 47th Annual Business Conference and Expo, chaired this year by Mr. Jeffrey T. Nam. The Annual Business Conference and Expo is a premium event of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, headed by its president, Ambassador Benedicto V. Uico, and the members of the PCCI Board of Directors. The 30th SOLABC is hosted by the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, under Conference Director Past President Hoover S. Picar, and the leadership of CSCCI President Maria Soledad V. Magtuto. Invocation by Ms. Mergy N. Moraleda.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Loving Lord, today we gladly welcome you in our midst as we hold this 30th South Luzon Area Business Conference of Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Today, however, Lord, we are at a highly self-conscious moment of our situation. We are a people that bloom about by crisis and change, turned by conflict and disunity, and served by pain and frustration, this COVID-19. Father in heaven, we thank you for this wonderful day that leaders and advocates of economic development, progress, and prosperity are once gathered for this occasion, the SOLABC. We implore your mercy, divine intervention, as we face the health crisis of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Loving Lord, help us keep our faith and strength as citizens and leaders to continue our fight for economic growth not only in this region, country, but in the whole world. Father, bless everyone here present with your love and wisdom. Forgive our shortcomings, indiscretion, and imperfection. All this we ask in this mighty name of Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, and to the Son, to the Holy Spirit. Amen.
The Philippine National Anthem. Call to Order by Ms. Clarine P. Tobias, Area Vice President for South Luzon.
Good day, PCCI and SOLABC delegates, fellow South Luzon PCCI officers and members, SOLABC prime movers, invited speakers, guests, and conference participants. Last year, the pandemic brought about by COVID-19 was a total disruption. It has been responsible for the staggering disarray that is evident in all fronts. From the world stage to our national shores, to our homestead and personal lives, the cost of such a microscopic organism that the pandemic exacted to our lives is unimaginable. We could have stopped right there and claimed defeat. We could have remained frozen in the middle of life and just hope for better things ahead. But last year, we chose to manage disruption and shelve thoughts of defeat. Although it was evident that the negative impact of the pandemic to livelihood was catastrophic, we had to pretend there was business as usual, in spite of the usual being just a hindsight. The farmers have to farm because we need nourishment. Traders have to trade because exchange is crucial for the balance of the economy. There are people who need to move things around because the cycle must not be disturbed if we are to maintain the status quo. Surviving the challenges was so last year, as resilience was just a short-term panacea to the ills of the pandemic. Last year's conference was our first journey to pull experts and industry members together in an online platform. Thanks to technology, for it has allowed us to defy obstacles of time and space. But it was the prime movers of the SOLABC whose insight and creativity made it possible for us to leverage on technology and other resources. This year, we aim to take last year's success several notches higher by building up from what we have achieved. Today, we again gather to map out the future of our industries in our 30th SOLABC themed Innovative Economy, a Better Normal for All. Innovation and economy are separate and not interchangeable terms. Innovation is an essential driver of economic progress. It entails application of ideas and technologies that improve goods and services because it presents new way of doing things. Innovation makes it possible to increase productivity and output, enhance services that eventually result to overall improvement in the standard of living. Although innovation sometimes appears intrusive and causes temporary disruption that harm constituencies and interests, innovation is key in economic development and progress because it results in economic growth that brings vast benefits for all. To tackle the topics to our related guests for a better normal for all, we tap experts and industry leaders who are magnanimous to share with us new insights, proactive thinking, ingenious methods, and new discoveries and learning on how we can adopt innovation in our respective industries. Food industry, the backbone of our economy, still occupies the top spot in our priorities. Day 1 will cover topics for Session 1, dubbed as Zero Hunger, Ensuring Food Security in South Luzon. He will be joined by Honorable William Dar, Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, Engineer Mario Corrales, owner of Corrales Integrated Eco Farms, Honorable Eduardo Guillen, Mayor of Pidig, Ilocos Norte, Dr. Ramon Clarete, Chief of Party, Be Safe, Project of Winrock International. They will share updates, approaches, strategies, and outlook on how we can stabilize food production, supply, and distribution. Mr. Rodel P. Tornilla, MABE, Regional Director of the Department of Agriculture, RFO 5, will share best practices in a special presentation. What good is development if it cannot translate to human development? After the Build campaign, come the clamor for sustainability. How do we keep the momentum so that economic gains in infrastructure sustainability be able to adapt the world problem for climate change? In Session 2, dubbed as Sustainable Cities of Communities, Adapting to Climate Change, DPW Honorable Secretary Mark Villar will open the session with exigent message on this subject. The speakers will give updates, touch on legislations, and push solutions to current infrastructure problems. The table for USEC Maria Catalina Cabral of DPWH, Honorable Luis Raymond Villafuerte, Representative of 2nd District of Camarines Sur, Mr. Renato Redentor Constantino, Executive Director of the Institute of Sustainable Cities, Mr. Ronilo Balbiran, Vice President, RAID Foundation, Attorney Jeremiah Bellica, Director General of Anti-Red Tape, will share updates on one-stop shop at Matnog Port. How do we leverage on technology to strengthen our infrastructure? Our Session 3's topic, Industry Innovation and Infrastructure, will address that. Technology honchos will take on the issues, plans, programs, and testimonials and valuable things learned on how they champion technology to boost their industry. We have Honorable Secretary Gregorio Anasan of DICT, Mr. Romel Serrano, Regional Director of DOST Region 5, Ms. Carmencita Reyes, Proprietor of Rejanos Bakery, and Ms. Annie Liaguno of HML Food Corporation. Ms. Sylvia Wang, President of Cloud and AI Business Group, will present developments and evolution of the digital technology. A special presentations on the 47th PBC&E will be delivered by its chairperson, Mr. Jeffrey T. Nang. This year, SOLABC invited Honorable Secretary Carl Kendrick Chua of National Economic Development Authority to be our keynote speaker. As lightly mentioned earlier, innovation has the capability to harm constituencies and institutions and disturb the status quo. But it has also the capacity to elevate our lives many folds. We have embraced technology as if it is the second nature to us, and we have relied on technology for everything that we do. Innovation then must not be perceived as threat, but rather a new mindset in our journey towards economic development. On this note, I'm officially declaring the conference open.
Introduction of Speaker Charles P. Clemente III.
Honorable Miguel Luis R. Villafuerte, at the tender age of 24, he became the youngest governor-elect in the history of the Philippines. A public servant through and through, he also became the Vice President for Luzon of the League of the Province of the Philippines. He set the benchmark of excellence in the public service for his fellow youth by being the founder and the president of the visionary organization of Young Chief Executive or VOICE and of the Youth Development Affairs Center of Camarines Sur. A staunch advocate for the environment, he is also the climate change ambassador of the Philippines. His many achievements won him both national and international recognition. He was given the distinction as one of the People Asia's Men Who Matter in 2014. Along with the likes of former US President Barack Obama and other renowned businessmen and public officials, he was also awarded by the Department of Health an unsung hero of Typhoon Yolanda and given the Bronze USA Award by the Boy Scout of the Philippines National Council. In less than a year of his outstanding service as Kamsur Council Chairman, an excellent public servant and well-rounded role model of youth. Please give a round of applause for Governor Miguel Luis Migs Villafuerte.
Good day to all. This is Governor Migs Villafuerte of the province of Camarines Sur, and I would like to welcome all the hosts, guests, participants in this year's event, most especially our friends and colleagues in the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry for trusting Camarines Sur once again to be this year's host. I would like to give special thanks and greetings to our president in the CAMSUR Chamber of Commerce and Industry, my dearest auntie, Soledad V. Magtoto, and partners for doing such an incredible job in this year's hosting. You know that I am always here to support you 100% because I know the benefits and advantages of a good public and private partnership, especially in Camarines Sur. The private sector really is one of the keys in revitalizing our economy here in this pandemic season. With a great partnership, being one and united, I know that we can bounce back even stronger and better post-COVID-19 in Camarines Sur in the Philippines. I know we were supposed to be in sunny Caramuan right now, but due to certain restrictions, we are here. But we know you, we know who confirmed, and everyone is welcome in Camarines Sur when restrictions are eased up in the nearest future. So we hope to see you all in our province. Mabuhay po ang mga private sector na nagsisipag tumutulong sa taong bayan para po mas lalo tayong mas mabilisang makabangon. Again, this is Governor Migs Villafuerte. As we say here in CAMSUR, Diyos mabalos po sa inyo kabos.
Introduction of Speaker by Mr. Jeffrey A. Armedilla, President, PCCI Palawan.
We are honored and privileged to have with us to give us an opening statement the President of PCCI, Ambassador Benedicto V. Hiwico. Ambassador Hiwico is involved in property development through joint ventures and partnerships, and in the technology business through investments in startup companies. He served as a special envoy of the President with the rank of Ambassador for Trade Relations for Eastern Europe, the North America, and Latin America. He was also the President of the Confederation of Asia-Pacific Chambers of Commerce in Industry from 2010 to 2014, which comprised of the apex chambers of commerce of 28 countries. He is currently a member of CACCI Advisory Board. He is the founding partner of DDMP REIT Corporation, chairman of Istana Development Corporation and Istana Social Development Foundation that promotes literacy among underprivileged children by granting scholarships and constructing school buildings, particularly in isolated communities. He is also the founding chairman of Bayaning Police Foundation, which helps educate the children of PNP personnel who gave up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ambassador Benedicto V. Hiwico, PCCI President.
Ms. Clarine Palomares Tobias, PCCI Vice President for South Luzon, Ms. Sally Lacson, Regional Governor, Region 4, Ms. Mergy Moraleda, Regional Governor, Region 5, distinguished colleagues at the PCCI Board, local chamber presidents and officers, our distinguished speakers and panelists, friends and colleagues in the chamber movement, our dear members and conference delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning to all of you. It is a great pleasure to join you this morning at the opening of the 30th South Luzon Area Business Conference, appropriately SOLABC. This year's conference theme, Innovative Economy, a Better Normal for All, reflects our collective aspirations for an economy that is inclusive, responsive, and supportive for businesses. It highlights the importance of embracing innovation to help us effectively navigate our businesses during these difficult times and pivot to the requirements of the new normal. We are gathered here today to exchange ideas and to share experiences and discuss policies and programs which can help accelerate the progress on various economic activities which will benefit SMEs. Specifically, policy issues and programs relating to food security, industry innovation and infrastructure, internet connectivity, and climate change, as these are the areas of concern that can bring development to South Luzon, particularly the Bicol region. A report from the National Economic and Development Authority, NEDA, indicates that the economy of Bicol region has improved over the years, with agriculture as the main economic driver. The Build program of the government has likewise attracted more investments and generated employment opportunities in South Luzon. However, these gains in the area continue to be threatened by the adverse impact of the extreme weather conditions. This is one significant reason why we must embrace innovation and innovative solutions to build on the gains and maximize the potentials of the area. Smart agriculture, smart cities, Industry 4.0 transformation, and innovative changes in infrastructure and management are the way forward to lift the lives of Filipinos and move closer to our national goal of Ambition 2040, when no Filipino is poor and every Filipino can enjoy a good life. This brings me to the main thrust of PCCI, As you may recall, innovation for business has been the core of my agenda and the work program. This has been proven to be relevant and timely. The disruption brought about by the pandemic has forced all of us to constructively innovate in our approaches and strategies and embrace technology to survive and sustain our businesses. As I have emphasized since the early days of my presidency, there is a continuous need for us to work with government in establishing an innovation ecosystem to generate new ideas and transform these ideas into new products, services, and processes. In fact, from last year up until now, we in PCCI have concretized our advocacies and successfully proven how partnering with government can promote innovation for all. Allow me to share with you some of the substantial contributions of PCCI towards an innovative Philippine economy with public-private partnership agreements. For more innovation-oriented regulation and ease of doing business, a unified approach was forged with several partnerships, both at the international and local level, on technology promotion, funding management, and allocation for digitalization. I am glad to inform you that PCCI is in collaboration with government agencies such as Department of Finance, Department of Trade and Industry, Anti-Red Tape Agency, and Department of Science and Technology on several projects and lobbying advocacies such as the top 10 recommendations of PCCI to Sulong Pilipinas advocacies, sustainable startup support programs, and PCCI local chambers as ARTA champions in their respective areas. A highlight of our successful advocacy is the signing of Executive Order 127, where it is now possible for non-telecom companies to access satellite services and provide connectivity to the underserved and unserved areas in the countryside. Yesterday, PCCI, in partnership with the Asia Foundation Philippines, conducted a public webinar to raise awareness on EO 127 and examine how we should be able to leverage on satellites to recover and thrive, especially in the countryside. The PCCI Innovation Committee, led by Director Perry Ferrer, also had completed the installation of a working prototype satellite connection at the PCCI Innovation Center. For easier access to finance, PCCI partnered with key government lending institutions, commercial banks, and financing consultants to put together this webinar series to guide members to make informed decisions on the various financing and lending solutions available in the market. Bank representatives were from the DBP, Union Bank, BPI Unibank, BPI Direct, SB Corporation, Philippine Business Bank, BDO, and Land Bank of the Philippines. I am also very pleased to let you know the innovative approaches that PCCI has delved into for facilitating labor market access. We have conducted a training with Huawei Technologies Philippines, Inc. for cloud training, also app development, and artificial intelligence in order to prepare our workers and the youth to be leaders and perhaps even teachers in technology, and to promote the use of technology to sustain and expand businesses. We also partnered with the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, ECO, soft skills training program which aims to support the development, growth, and enhancement of enterprises and individuals through peer learning networks as a value-added service to our members. Building and development of smart cities is also at the heart of my advocacy. A smart city aims to provide a decent quality of life to its citizens and sustainable environment and application of smart solutions. The pandemic situation has shown that a well-designed technology tool can benefit government agencies as well as our local chambers who have gone digital and improved their chamber services. For example, PCCI Antipolo's joint initiative with LGU of the City of Antipolo in conducting an orientation on Antipolo Bantay COVID-19 contact tracing system for local businesses and private sector. PCCI Batangas that has maximized the use of technology for its food security techno-based farm production, supply chain organization, and collection of membership database efforts. Metronaga CCI for using existing technology to improve their MNCCI website, making it easier for the general public to search for the businesses in Metro Naga and neighboring towns through the business online directory. And of course, Camarines Sur CCI for using their own virtual platform, the CSCCI Vertex, developed by one of their own members to enhance a virtual conference experience in which will include transition videos and the illusion of you attending the event physically. Innovation and entrepreneurship have always been a personal advocacy because I have observed that these concepts are effective drivers, not only in helping businesses grow, but also having an entire circle of business development. Highlighted in the discussions today are for government to prioritize smart agriculture, farming, and food security, refocus growth strategy on sustainable infrastructure solutions to address supply chain bottlenecks, and leverage on future technologies to help business adapt to the new normal. In closing, I would like to emphasize that the future of South Luzon will depend on our current innovative programs and activities. This will secure the continuous recovery and upward growth trend of the two regions in the years ahead. I am fervently hoping the regions will generate more local and foreign investments that will create more jobs and attract more commercial activities in the region. Together, let us work for the further development of the South Luzon region. Again, my congratulations to the officers and members of PCCI South Luzon. Thank you for the privilege of your time and good morning.
This session provides an in-depth discussions and interactions on the provision of food production to alleviate hunger among people of southern Luzon. Known for its vast agricultural and potential ecotourism sites, South Luzon remains steadfast in providing quality food production and distribution within its area. The PCCI, in its advocacy of sustaining local industry to thrive, has conceived of focusing on food security as one of its topic of discourse in this year's SOLABC. Welcome everyone to the session on Zero Hunger, Ensuring Food Security in South Luzon. Introduction of Speaker by Ms. Marian Giovanna M. Berzuela, President, PCCI Camarines Norte.
Dr. William Doliente Dar is a champion of the poor, especially the small farmers and fisher folks. In 1988, he was awarded as one of the 10 outstanding young men of the Philippines. In 2016, Dr. Dar was awarded the Outstanding Filipino Award in cognizance of his servant leadership, which was instrumental in transforming the International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics from a struggling institute to one of the top-performing centers of the consultative group on international agricultural research. In his 15 years of outstanding achievements as Director General of International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, he championed and institutionalized an overarching strategy called Inclusive Market-Oriented Development, in which the farmers became active participants for their own welfare. The same strategy is now being advocated by him in pursuit of inclusive agribusiness in the Philippines. Prior to his international stint, he taught with distinction at Benguet State University with the rank of Professor 6 and served as its Vice President for Research and Development in 1985 to 1987. He was the founding director of the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Agricultural Research in 1987 to 1994. Served as Executive Director of the Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Council for Agriculture. Forestry and Natural Resources Research and Development in 1994 to 1998, and Secretary of the Department of Agriculture under President Joseph Estrada in 1998 and 1999. Under his watch at the Department of Agriculture, the Philippine agriculture achieved a remarkable 9.6% growth, which was never been equaled until today. In 2014, he founded the Inang Lupa Movement Incorporated that advocates and calls action for agricultural modernization and rural industrialization anchored on 4 pillars: inclusiveness, science-based, resilience, and market-oriented development. He now writes a regular weekly column called Ways of the Oasis in the Manila Times. From his weekly columns, he published the book titled The Way Forward Modernization and Industrialization of the Philippine Agriculture. He also advises Go Negosyo in the areas of agriculture and agripreneurship. Presently, he is the country representative of Prasad Seeds Philippines Incorporated. Dr. Dar obtained his Bachelor's of Science in Agriculture Education from the Mountain State Agricultural College, now Benguet State University, in 1973. Master of Science in Agronomy from Mountain State Agricultural College in 1976, and Doctor of Philosophy in Horticulture from the University of the Philippines at Los Baños in 1980. Cognizant of his leadership and laurels, he was awarded 8 doctorate degrees honoris causa by various higher educational institutions in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, Dr. William Doliente Dar.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Before COVID-19, boosting the agricultural sector's performance had already been challenging as it is. But the slope of growth of the Philippine economy is worrisome, and we fear this can wipe out our years of progress in reducing poverty, food insecurity, and climate change challenges. As such, the Department of Agriculture has been aggressive in implementing key strategies to increase farm productivity and incomes by way of clustering small farms to create economies of scale, expanding the reach of our direct farm-to-market programs, ensuring uninterrupted guidance and aid of credit and inputs to farmers, and aggressively pushing for urban farming in various cities, among others. But beyond the challenges of today, we must not lose sight of the future with vision and continue striving to build an agriculture that is pandemic and crisis-proof. To achieve long-term food security and an inclusive recovery, we first and foremost must subscribe to a new thinking. We at the Department of Agriculture are implementing a multi-pronged strategic framework geared towards modernization, industrialization, and global competitiveness of export markets. Under modernization, we are helping our farmers in South Luzon and across the country to benefit from the technological revolution by way of deploying drones, providing hybrid seeds, creating better varieties, furthering our biotech research work, and many more. In industrializing Philippine agriculture, we must continue scaling up our downstreaming capabilities from value adding and processing to marketing. We need to help our farmers and agripreneurs keep step with the new and ever-changing consumer behaviors and preferences. We must improve our value chain analysis and transition from raw product specialization to high-value product specialization if we aim for global competitiveness. Global competitiveness will showcase Filipino agri-products, draw more interest in our ways of farming, our culture, and more importantly, provide farmers improved incomes. In partnership with the private sector, the government must invest for more laboratories that can ensure that the quality of our exports can meet international certification standards. Parallel to this, relevant government agencies must provide all its support in enabling our farmers to make greater contributions in global trade. In expanding our export capacity, crop diversification will be critical. We must strengthen our high-value crop development program and ensure this leads to greater livelihood generation in rural communities. The prosperity of smallholder farmers must always be at the center of an agricultural development agenda. For without our farmer heroes and fisher folks, agriculture will not be an attractive sector. As the pandemic remains in our midst, threatening even to be an endemic, provincial governments down to barangays and villages in South Luzon must have food security as top of mind in their recovery and growth agenda. The private sector can also help ensure zero hunger by contributing in the food supply chain. The DA has a long list of programs in building the foundations of a successful agripreneur. We are in partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry in delivering the Kapatid Agri Mentor Me program, and of course with Go Negosyo, where we coach numerous agripreneurs. The DA's trading arm, the Agricultural Training Institute, provides regular workshops on a range of agricultural activities, while its e-learning for agriculture and fisheries program provides readily available online courses which entrepreneurs can take at their own pace. We also provide zero interest, no collateral loans through our Agricultural Credit Policy Council or ACPC to help with capital mobilization. ACPC programs are designed for a range of people, whether MSME, woman, or youth, signifying that everyone can have a part in driving food security. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry has always been one of the government's staunchest and most reliable partners in promoting trade and investment opportunities for our kababayans. But let me call on the business community once more. The fight against hunger is a fight of the whole nation. If you are on the lookout for business opportunities, look no further. Agriculture and agribusiness are the answers. Together, let us grow your business, ensure that it creates multiplier effects on the economy, decent incomes for our farmers and fishers, and that it helps us attain food security with no one left behind to go hungry. Thank you, and a pleasant day to all of you. God bless us all.
Introduction of speaker by Mr. Raul D. Mercado, President, PCCI Batangas.
Good morning, fellow members of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry in South Luzon, from the Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and the Bicol region. Our next speaker and resource person is considered to be in the League of Experts in the field of electrical and instrumentation construction, inspection, with considerable experience in offshore installation and noted proficiency in database and industrial software management. As an electrical engineer, he has accumulated a remarkable management and technical skill set earned through 20 years of work experience in global projects steered by world-renowned international pharmaceutical and petrochemical corporations, which include, among others, such names as Shell International and ExxonMobil. But to tell you honestly, it was his passion and love for agriculture that has set him as a model in what he has been known now through his creation of his own self-sustaining, environment-friendly, and integrated eco-farm in Taal, Batangas. Just a neighbor from my place in Batangas City. To make sure he realizes his dream, he attended various trainings and seminars from organic farming and mushroom cultivation and processing at the Costales Farm in Laguna and Dasmariñas, Cavite, and even traveling as far north as Taiwan to further his competencies and skill sets. Today, we are honored and privileged to have him with us as he shares what are the best practices he has developed and adopted in the practice of smart agriculture, a potent solution to the growing threat to food security. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the owner and operator of the Corrales Integrated Eco Farm, Engineer Mario Tolentino Corrales.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. I am Engineer Mario May Corrales, the owner of Corrales Integrated Eco Farm. Inviting us and sharing our advocacy to the community is indeed an honor for Corrales Integrated Eco Farm. A great opportunity to partake every knowledge that somehow will contribute to answer issues regarding food security. With this, I am sincerely extending my gratitude to the organizers, most especially to PP Huber Picar and the rest of the team behind this webinar for giving me time to share my expertise on smart agriculture and integrated farming. Let us all take this pandemic situation as a chance to discover out talents in farming so that we can have our share in solving the growing predicaments on food security. With our simple bare hands, creative mind, and dedication, food for every table of the Filipino will be secured through integrated farming. With this, may I introduce Corrales Integrated Eco Farm. Being children of farmers ourselves, we're no strangers to back-breaking hard work, unwavering commitment to do and produce better, and the discipline to finish what we have started. When we decided to take action for the environment through responsible agriculture, we knew what was in store for us. We adopt and practice productive, eco-friendly, self-sustaining integrated farming for the cultivation of our mushrooms, fruits, and vegetables, growth of our livestock, and processing of our agricultural products. We are what we practice. We care for the future. We envision a better world for all of us. We farm for a better tomorrow. For the outline of my presentation, I'll be discussing the best practices that we have on our farm, on how we are growing our mushroom, and it will be followed by our vegetable production. And third will be our livestock, or the farm animals that we are raising. Corrales Integrated Eco Farm is located at Barangay Carsuche, Taal, Batangas. We started our operations January 5, 2020. Our mushroom production starts with substrate preparation. On the picture, makikita po natin ang ating pong substrate. This is how we store our substrate. Kusot po ito, sawdust. So this is our composting area. Dito po namin siya tinitimpla. Nagdadagdag po tayo dito ng molasses and lime. Meron po siyang certain proportion at saka po length of time ng kanyang composting. And then, after composting, we are going to bag our substrate. We are going to use polypropylene bag, or in short, we call it PP bag. Usually, it weighs between 800 grams to 1 kilogram per bag. On site, we have fabricated our own bagging machine. And then after this is bagged, we are going to get these bags pasteurized. We have also fabricated our own pasteurizer on site. And our pasteurizer is able to handle 1,400 PP bags at one go. The bags will be exposed at a temperature of 100 degrees C for 6 hours. And then it will be cooled down. After it has fully settled and fully cooled down, pwede po na natin siyang taniman ng similya. We refer to this as inoculation po. So we are going to inoculate. We have our inoculation room. After inoculation, we are going to bring these bags sa incubation room. Ano po? This is going to be stored vertically. Nakatayo po siya para po yung kanyang similya madali po siyang kumalat. Ang tawag po natin dito yung mycelia. Ano po? So it's going to be stored dito po sa incubation room for 3 weeks on the average. Hanggang sa makita po natin na yun pong mycelia, yun pong kanyang similya ay kumalat na po dun sa PP bag, and then makita po natin na kulay puti po siya. And in some cases, makikita na po tayo ng pinhead. So, yun pong formation ng small mushroom po. After that, we are going to transfer these bags sa grow area po. The bags will be stored horizontally. Dito po, ang ating pong grow area dapat po ay malamig. Meron po siyang adjustment sa liwanag kasi ang gusto po ng mushroom po natin ay medyo madilim po. And then moist. Yun po ang ating pong i-maintain. So meron po tayong humidity and temperature monitor po sa loob. And then meron din tayo pong program po sa pagdidilig po at saka po pag-sanitize po ng ating pong grow area. And then, after 2 weeks, yan, you can see na po fully, ano na po siya, nag-flash na po siya, o kita po natin yung fully grown na po, yung mushroom natin. And then, we can harvest na po. Atin pong dadalhin, we're going to bring our harvest po sa atin pong post-harvest area. And dito po natin siya ipaprocess. We are selling po fresh mushroom, and we are processing as well. So this is our products po. So we have mushroom chips or mushroom chicharon, and then we have also our mushroom bagoong po. For our vegetable production, we seek the help of our municipal agriculture office to help us get the soil tested. This is very important because from the test, we are able to identify the type of vegetable that we can grow on our area, and that help us a lot po. So you can see from the picture, yung pong mga na-identify nila na gulay na akma dun po sa amin pong soil, sa farm. Basically po yung mga gulay po sa pakpet. Ano po. So from the picture po makita po natin ang mga tanim po naming sili, talong, we have sitaw and kalabasa. And then there are other vegetable as well. Meron po din kami ditong upo and also the herbs. And we have also attended po seminars about hydroponics system of growing vegetable po. So we attended po yung pong seminar po sa UPLB. So we have also hydroponic setup po sa farm. Yung pong amin pong natutunan dun sa UPLB ay di po ay amin pong ginamit po dun sa farm. Ano po. So we are able to grow lettuce, pechay, mustasa, and iba pa pong mga gulay on hydroponic way of growing. Naging malusog po yung ating mga tinatanim na halaman sa farm sa paggamit po natin ng organic fertilizer. Yung pong organic fertilizer, kami din po ang gumagawa sa farm. Ginagamit po namin at kinocompose yung pong lahat po ng dumi po ng ating pong mga farm animals, and then yung pong mga damo na nandun po, yung mga pinaglinisan po, pinagtabasan, and dry leaves. Yun po, meron po kaming procedure na ginagawa sa composting, and then we are able to produce po yung pong compost, at ito po yung ginagamit namin na pataba po. And then makikita po nyo sa picture yung pong malulusog na halaman na ginamitan po namin ito. Meron po kaming free range chicken sa farm, and for this, let us all watch this short video presentation. Ito naman po yung pong aming mga bibi sa farm. Ano po. So, unti-unti na din po silang dumadami, and nakakatuwa po. And sa kanila man pong pagkain, we are augmenting po yung pong commercial feeds ng amin pong yun pong banana, ano po, yun pong katawan ng saging. Amin po siyang chinachop ng pino, and then niyahalo po namin. Also po yung sapal ng niyog, and then yung pong trigo, ano po. So, gusto po nila. And we are still looking for other alternative feeds po para po sa kanila. Aming tuloy-tuloy po na kumbaga po ay inaalam, ano po, para po mas mabigyan po namin siya ng natural feeds po. Meron na din po kaming alagang rabbit sa farm. Nagsisimula pa lang po kami. And then sa ngayon po, meron po kaming 16 na po na heads po ng rabbits. And then nakita na po namin kung paano po sila alagaan. Marami na din po kaming tanim na pagkain po nila sa farm. So, unti-unti po, amin pong padadamihin amin pong rabbit sa farm. Sa amin naman pong pag-aalaga ng kambing sa farm, makikita po natin sa picture, yun pong ginawa po naming bahay nila, ano po. So, made up of available materials po sa farm. So, yan po, para pong cubicle din po sila dyan. And then, mapapansin po natin, yung pong pinakapinto ng cubicle, yung pong panara, ay serving two purposes po. So, kapag po binaba po natin, yun na po yung magsaserve na ramp. Diyan po sila dumadaan para po makaakyat po sa kanilang elevated na cubicle. Ano po, marami din po kaming itinanim sa farm para po pagkain ng kambing. Meron po kaming ipil-ipil, madre cacao, meron po kaming napier, and meron din po kaming tricantera. So, yun po ang amin pong po sa mga kambing. Ito po yung kabuuan ng aking presentation, and I hope po na meron po tayong mga nakuha, natutunan na magagamit po natin sa ating pong lugar, ano po, para po makapag-produce din po tayo ng gulay, and then makapag-alaga din po tayo ng mga hayop po na makakatulong po sa atin. Maraming salamat po.
Introduction of Speaker by Ms. Josette A. Cortez, President, PCCI Puerto Princesa.
Greetings, everyone. I am tasked to introduce our next speaker. Honorable Eduardo Eddie G. Guillen is the mayor of Pidig, Ilocos Norte, a town convergence projects, dubbed as the mother of all convergence projects, through which Mayor Guillen launched a multi-sectoral and multi-agency collaboration for responsible and sustainable rural development through an innovative approach to agriculture. For his significant accomplishments and outstanding performance in the implementation of innovative public service delivery programs and good governance during his term as the municipal mayor, he has received numerous awards and citations from the DNR, DOH, and NEDA. For his leadership and environmental advocacies, he has been conferred the Seal of Good Housekeeping by the DILG and was also named the most exemplary and outstanding public servant of the millennium for the year 2021 at the 4th Asia Pacific Luminaire Awards. He has participated in numerous national fora as a resource speaker on convergence programs, agribusiness, the best practices of local government, and entrepreneurship. A graduate of BS Civil Engineering from Mapua Institute of Technology and an expert in local governance, development planning, civil engineering, and community organizing. Please help me welcome my fellow civil engineer, Mayor Eduardo Eddie G. Guillen.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat, lalong-lalo na po sa lahat ng nakikinig at nanonood sa atin ngayon. Gusto ko pong magpasalamat sa mga organizers po ng event na ito at ako po ay naimbitahan na maging resource speaker dito sa inyong prestigious event ng South Luzon Area Business Conference. Gusto ko munang i-share sa inyo yung favorite lyrics ko sa kanta ni Bambo na Tatsulok. Hindi pula't dilaw, tunay na magkalaban. Ang kulay at tatak ay di siyang dahilan. Usually kasi, kami mga politiko, ang alam namin na kalaban ay yung katunggali namin sa politika. Nawawala yung focus namin sa tunay na problema, yung tunay na kalaban. Ito yung social injustice, lalong-lalo na po yung kahirapan ng buhay o yung poverty. Ayon po sa data ng Philippine Statistics Authority, mas mataas ang poverty incidences sa rural area na umaabot pa ng hanggang 60%. Ito din ang dahilan kung bakit malaking problema ang peace and order, lalo na sa mga probinsya. Sabi nga ni Willy Brandt, as long as hunger exists, peace cannot prevail. Dahil po dito, naisip namin sa PIDDIG na gumawa ng isang project upang tugunan lahat ng development challenges sa aming bayan. Tinawag po namin ito na Whole of Nation Approach, Convergence Initiative Project, as enabler of sustainable and inclusive rural development. Una siyempre, na-identify namin yung mga common problems na dahilan ng kawalan ng sustainable economic activity. Una na siyempre dito ang poverty, peace and order, lahat po nang nakalista dyan. At higit sa lahat, yung problema natin ngayon sa buong mundo, yung climate change. Ang sagot po namin dito ay yung aming National Greening Program, Convergence Initiative Project. Ito yung aming organic coffee production and tamarind production. At pangalawa, yun pong aming Consolidated Farm Production System. Ang idea dito ay mag-create kami ng isang platform o ng isang project na kung saan lahat ng government agencies at NGOs ay pwedeng mag-contribute. Ito po yung value chain map ng aming project. Para po sa implementation, we entered into a public-private partnership with the PIDDIG Base Multipurpose Cooperative. Tawag po namin dito ay P4. Kasi siyempre, ang kapartner namin dito, yung mga magsasaka natin, ano? So, Public-Private Partnership for the People. Ito po yung output namin, ano? Doon sa upland coffee plantation namin, nakapagtanim kami ng 215 hectares of Arabica coffee. Ang average po noon, mga 800 coffee trees per hectare. Dahil nga po, ito ay convergence project. At dahil ang gusto ng DENR ay organic coffee production tayo, so kailangan namin ng organic fertilizer. So, kinausap natin ang DSWD para magbigay ng tig 5,000 capital para doon sa ating 700 na 4-piece na siyang magpuproduce ng ating organic fertilizer. Nagbigay din ng 1 milyon na capital assistance ang DOLE para doon sa mga marginalized farmers natin na hindi na kasama doon sa National Household Targeting System for Poverty Reduction. Ito yung NHTS na tinatawag. Kasi siyempre yung DSWD ayaw na magbigay doon sa mga wala doon sa kanilang listahan. Para naman sa production ng aming substrate, kasi kailangan natin ng magandang substrate para sa pakain natin doon sa mga African night crawlers, para sa vermicast, we intensified buffalo production. Kasi kailangan natin ng dumi yung kalabaw at saka yung ihi nila. Yung ginagawa ng mga farmers natin, ilalagay doon sa kulungan yung mga dayami o ano-ano, and then pag nadumihan ng kalabaw yon, sinasama yon sa substrate para doon sa mga African night crawlers. Of course, kasama namin dito sa project na ito ang Philippine Carabao Center. Dahil dito sa program na ito, nabigyan po ng award ang PIDIG as National Second Placer sa Artificial Insemination Award para sa aming Carabao Development Program. Magalain nyo, napaliit na bayan pero laki ng impact. Bilang counterpart naman ng Department of Agriculture, base sa napagkasunduan namin sa National Convergence Initiative for Sustainable Rural Development o yung NCISRD, nagbigay ang DA ng Rice Processing Center. Ito yung RPC2 na tinatawag nila. May kasama kasi na ito na mga mechanical dryer at yung byproduct. Pag nagda-drying na sila, yung byproduct na carbonized rice hull, ito ang inihahalo namin doon sa aming vermicast. 60-40 ang ratio namin dito. So ito ay additional income din ng mga farmers natin, itong vermicast production. Nagbigay din ng DTI ng coffee processing equipments galing sa kanilang shared service facilities. And of course, sa infra naman ay nakahingi din kami ng farm to market road sa DA, nung una 98 million ang ibinigay, para doon sa aming upland coffee plantation. Dahil ang aming coffee plantation ay agroforestry ecotourism project, nakalabi din kami ng project under Department of Tourism. Galing ito doon sa kanilang Tourism Road Infrastructure Project Prioritization Criteria o yung TRIPC. Pero ang pinakamalaki po, ang impact na convergence project na nalabi po namin ay yung galing ng DPWH na impounding dams. Na-convince ko po noon si dating Secretary Babe Singson, ganitong project ang tunay na sustainable flood control project. Ma-impound yung tubig during rainy season, hence we could prevent flash floods. Mabawasan na rin ang siltation sa ilog dahil nga makontain na kaagad yung tubig doon sa impounding dam. Afterwards, pwede na naming magamit na para doon sa aming fishery livelihood at para din sa mga tourism activities, mga kayaking, fishing, etc. Kapag summertime na, pag kailangan na ng patubig, gamitin namin yung naipon na tubig para sa irrigation ng aming palayan at para doon sa aming mga high-value crops. Pagdating ng susunod na rainy season, ubos na or paubos na yung laman ng tubig sa impounding dam at ready na naman ito para sa susunod na tag-ulan para kargahan ulit namin ng tubig. Ang problema lang noon ay hindi naman mandate ng DPWH ang paggawa ng small water impounding dams. Kasi ito nga po ay dapat project ng DA at saka NIA. Kaya ang ginawa namin ay pinalitan namin yung title ng project. Ginawa namin siyang Sustainable Water Management. Yun, pwede nang punduhan kasi flood control na siya eh. So yung pundo niya galing sa flood control fund ng DPWH. Ayan po yung aming Abukay Impounding Dam. Napunduhan po yan ng 300 million. DPWH, 90 hectares po ang impounding area. At an average height of around 15 meters, more or less, mahigit 8 million cubic meters po ang laman ng tubig niya. Napakalaking tulong po yan para sa aming mga farmers. Ulitin ko, bukod sa additional fish production, at tourism potential, magagamit pa namin sa pagpapatubig ng aming palayan. Ito ang the best na climate change adaptation project. Talagang malaki ang impact sa livelihood opportunities. Naging poster project po ito ng DPWH under Secretary Babe Singson. Isipin po ninyo, may additional area for planting rice during rainy season dahil hindi nga nababaha yung palayan. During dry season naman, magagamit din namin ito para sa pagpapatubig na ng aming palayan. Ang ginawa namin para magkaroon ng distribution area, lumapit kami sa National Irrigation Administration. Humingi kami ng pondo doon para sa distribution system para may parating namin yung tubig sa aming mga taniman. But instead of construction open irrigation canals, I insisted that we use pipe conduits. Ang rason ko po ay mas efficient, mas matipid, at mas mabilis gawin at magagamit pa namin para sa future drip irrigation projects namin. After completion ng National Greening Project last year, na-award na din po ng DNR yung National Greening Program site namin. More than 2,000 hectares po yun sa PBMC through CBFM o yung Community-Based Forest Management. Ipinamahagi naman ng PBMC sa mga members sa 2 hectares per recipient. Very manageable po kasi yung 2 hectares. May tanim na ito na 800 coffee trees per hectare. Ang condition lamang ng DENR at PBMC ay dapat i-maintain or i-improve pa ng beneficiary yung 800 na coffee trees. Kasi iniisip namin, kung makaharvest ng 1 kilo per tree, di may 1,600 kilos na siya. Say, mabenta niya ng 100 pesos per kilo, meron na siyang 160,000 gross sales. Sa aming estimate, ang average family income para doon sa mga lowland farmers ay 104,000. At 138,000 naman para doon sa mga highland farmers kasi ito yung Arabica coffee, mas mahal po kasi yun So, above poverty threshold na po yan. Di ba, nasa 100,000 pesos naman yata ngayon ang poverty threshold for a family of 5. In fact, ang ginagawa ng mga beneficiaries namin, nagtatanim pa sila ng papaya, saging, luya, at iba pa sa pagitan ng coffee trees. So, in-expect namin na mas mataas pa ang kikitain nila. At dahil maganda yung output namin dito sa Upland Coffee Plantation, natuwa ho si Secretary Pahe, kaya binigyan ho ulit kami ng pundo para sa aming lowland coffee plantation. So, 3 variety po ang itinanim namin, yung Robusta, Liberica, at Excelsa. Isipin po ninyo, ang laki ng idle lands natin, Ito yung mga forest land, karamihan dyan Mula Apari hanggang Hulo. Kung magagawa yung ganyang project, wala na pong maghihirap, May kanya-kanya ng lupa, lalong-lalo na po sa Mindanao kasi napagaganda ng weather nila doon, Wala rin po palang babayaran na realty tax ang recipient kasi technically, forest area po yung pinamahagi sa kanila. Para naman sa healthcare ng mga farmers natin o yung mga beneficiaries natin, meron kaming itinayo na, ang tawag namin, PIDDIG Cares. Ito po yung aming healthcare program. Sagot ng local government unit ng PIDDIG ang lahat ng hospitalization bills ng mga farmers natin at mga beneficiaries doon sa program. Kasama na po yung kanilang mga pamilya. Lahat na nang nandoon ang pangalan doon sa NHTS ng DSWD. Kasama po lahat yan sa program natin. Para naman po sa mas mabilis na information dissemination sa mga programa natin, nagtayo rin po kami ng sarili naming FM station. Ito yung 105.1 DWCI-FM. May program po kami na mag-agree tayo from 5 to 7 in the morning para itong School on the Air para sa mga farmers namin. So tinutulungan namin sila, may lecture sila doon, kung ano yung mga bagong mga procedures sa pagsasaka. Kasi naniniwala kami na dapat namin i-improve yung aming human resource development, lalong-lalo na itong mga farmers natin. In our consolidated farming, we wanted to break yung parochial thinking ng mga farmers na kanya-kanya. We were able to consolidate around 1,000 hectares involving 1,300 farmers. Our goal was to create a value chain in the farm production system wherein the farmer will realize profit or savings in all stages of farming. Lahat ng stages. Nagawa po natin yan sa pamamagitan ng pakikipagtulungan natin sa PBMC. Alam niyo po, ang mindset kasi ng national government, ang tinitignan lamang nila yung kikitain ng farmer doon sa time na magbenta siya ng palay. Sa amin, hindi. Gusto namin lahat ng stages mula doon sa capitalization, land preparation, doon sa seeds procurement, meron pa kaming insurance, crop insurance, saka ng mga farmers namin, harvesting, So lahat-lahat gusto namin merong kita o may pakinabang si farmer namin. Ang program component ng project, of course, yung institutional development ng PBMC. Tinulungan namin na magkaroon ng sapat na farm equipments at capital, yung itong aming co-op, para maging isa siyang farm service provider. Ang major features ng project sa consolidated farming kasi nagiging posible yung application ng economies of scale business concept. Sa simula ng project, nakipagmuha po ako sa Bureau of Soil and Water Management. Nag-counterpart po ako ng 1 million para sa paggawa ng soil evaluation at Strategic Agriculture and Fisheries Development Zone. Kahit yung aming NGP project, gumawa din kami ng Forest Land Use Plan na incorporate itong dalawang plano na ito para sa pagbuo ng aming CLUP. Mahalaga po na may plano para may sustainability yung ating mga projects. Ang advantage po ng soil and land resources evaluation ay hindi na po alatsamba o guessing game ang ginagawa ng mga farmers natin para sa fertilizer application. Ang katwiran ko po kasi, ang halaman parang tao yan. Paano mo mapapabuti o pangangatawan ng isang tao kung hindi naman tama ang gamot o vitamins, di ba? Ganon din po sa palay. Paano mo ma-increase yung production kung hindi naman tama yung ibinibigay na fertilizer o hindi mo naman alam yung condition ng lupa. This undertaking resulted in the increase of palay output of our farmers. So, lumaki yung ani nila. Sa inbred rice, from 3.5 tons to 6.273 tons. Sa hybrid rice naman, from 5 tons to 8.2 tons. Lumaki ang kita ng mga farmers natin. Pero ang ultimate na goal natin dyan, yung tinatawag namin na 510. Dapat nasa 5 pesos na lang yung production cost at nasa 10 tons yung production namin ng palay per hectare. Ito naman talaga ang wish natin, yung lumaki ang kita ng ating mga farmers. Para, to make our farmers not only producers, but consumers also of goods and services, which is a necessary condition for a sustainable economic growth in our municipality. Our partnership scheme, ito yung P4, opened a chance for our small farmers to be involved in the management of resources allocated for them, and empowered them to create and manage their own economic enterprise. Through the Convergence Initiative, small farmers, through their cooperative, now own the 16 million peso processing facility. And of course, complete farm equipments. Marami silang traktora, harvester, etc. Enabling them direct participation in the agribusiness aspect of agriculture. That provide more benefits from their farming activities. Isipin na lamang po ninyo, dati-rati, ang palay namin, dinadala lahat sa intercity sa Bulacan para ibenta sa mga big traders. Ngayon, may nakakapture na po kami. So kung kwantahin mo, bale 2,000 hectares yun for 1 year, kasi 2 croppings. Ang added value cost kasi na nakapture po namin, sa kwenta namin, is around 20 pesos per kilogram of rice. Kung sumahin mo, halos 150 million to 200 million pesos na po yun. Ang captured value namin na iikot sa PIDIG economy. Our farm consolidation production system has created socio-economic and other significant benefits to our small farmers. The cooperative income from captured value added, it contributes significantly by creating economic multiplier effect for the PIDIG economy. May economic multiplier effect yan kung mas maraming perang umiikot sa locality, di ba? Punta po tayo sa performance outcome. Of course, sa social aspect, yung peace and order, modesty aside, lagi po kaming nasa top 3 sa Region 1 na most peaceful town. Dahil na din siyempre sa dami lang trabaho. Wala nang time magluko yung ating mga constituency. Sabi nga nila, idle mind is where evil dwells. Our people became more preoccupied in gainful undertakings rather than disturbing peace and order. Siyempre, na-strengthen din ang aming cooperative capability. Sa economic naman, pinagmamalaki namin dito sa PIDIG yung tinatawag natin na collective shared economy of PIDIG. Yung equitable distribution of wealth among stakeholders. Ito yung result ng aming P4 scheme. Kasi ang kapartner nga natin dito, ulitin ko, yung ating mga maliliit na magsasaka. Yung ating hinahanap na inclusive growth, natin dito. Sa environmental naman, the PIDIG Convergence Project helps in dealing climate change mitigation through the implementation of NGP. Siyempre, nagtrim ka ng mga kahoy, ng kape, climate change mitigation yon. Climate change adaptation enhanced through the construction naman ng water catchment basins. Ito yung mga project. At saka yung farm consolidation for efficient water management. Thereby, na-increase yung aming climate change resiliency dito sa Pindig. We consider the triple bottom line concept para po sa implementation ng project namin. Gusto kasi namin ito maging sustainable. Gumagawa ka ng project para sa environment, may social impact at may economic impact din siya. Kung babalikan po natin yung developmental challenges, makikita natin na may kasagutan po lahat ng issue sa ating project concept. Ano po ang mahalagang aral na natutunan natin dito sa rural development project natin? May kasabihan po tayo na in every crisis lies the seed of opportunity. Ang crisis po natin dito, yung climate change, yung mga developmental challenges na na-mention kanina, but ang opportunity naman, meron naman tayo makukuha ng pondo. Tulad ng pondo para sa climate change, yung mga flood control projects, para sa mas makabuluhang proyekto. Instead of flood control dikes, imbes na puro dikes na lang ilalagay mo doon sa ilog para makontrol yung flooding, dapat water management project. Kailangan po natin ng sustainable flood control project. I think ito yung dapat na solusyon. Sa ganitong klase ng proyekto, imbes na baha ang maranasan natin, magiging kapaki-pakinabang ng tubig baha kasi ini-impound na nga natin para sa ating agrikultura. So yung tubig baha, i-manage mo, i-impound mo, gamitin mo for livelihood, and then gamitin mo for irrigation. Nasimulan po ito ni former DPWH Secretary Babe Singson. Talagang pinupos po niya ito. Alam po natin na malaking parte din pala ang mga cooperative sa paglago ng ekonomiya para ma-attain natin yung ever-elusive na inclusive development. Subalit, sa aming experience, nahirapan po kami na maghanap ng marunong na co-op manager. Yung strengthening ng co-op, mahirap po yun eh. Ginawa pa namin, binuo ko pa yung aking local finance committee, silang naging advisory council ng co-op. Yan. So kasi alam niyo naman sa local finance committee, nandiyan na yung mga marurunong ng mga accountant, mga engineers, mga development officers. Siguro marahil ang rason ay kung bakit mahirap kumuha ng co-op managers ay wala yatang educational course na co-op management. Sana mabigyan pansin ito ng Commission on Higher Education. Magkaroon sana kahit masteral man lang ng co-op management. Marami pa po ako gusto i-share sa inyo pero nabigyan lamang po ako ng 20 minutes na magsalita. Masasabi ko lamang para sa aking mga kapatid sa public service, hindi po rocket science ang sustainable and inclusive rural development. Madali po natin ito may isakutuparan kung gugustuhin lamang po natin. Lagi ko nga pong sinasabi, kung gusto, may paraan. Kung ayaw, may dahilan. Maraming salamat po.
Introduction of speaker by Mr. Marvin P. Adolfo, President, Laguna Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Good day to everyone. It is indeed an honor to introduce our guest today, who currently heads the Administrative Office of LAMAC Multipurpose Cooperative, and at the same time, the focal person for gender and development. He has been serving in LAMAC Multipurpose Cooperative for about 12 years now. LAMAC Multipurpose Cooperative is a 1.8 billion cooperative in assets with more than 120 members and operating in 42 branches in the whole of Visayas and in Mindanao. Our guest is a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy at San Carlos Seminary College and took up 1 year in theology at Seminario Mayor de San Carlos. He continues to serve the Lord by way of serving the people through the cooperative movement. He truly believes in the Bible passage as the dear Lord says, "What you have done to the least of my brethren, you have done it to me." Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the head of the Administrative Office of LAMAC Multipurpose Cooperative, Mr. Ken Tenebroso.
Hello everyone. a healthy and safe day to all of us. First of all, in behalf of Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative, headed by the chairperson of the board, Dr. Delphine P. Tukib, and the general manager, Maria Elena C. Limocon, please allow me to give thanks to the organizer of this event, the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industries, for this 30th SOLABC invitation to allow us to share to you the practices of Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative. Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative is located at Barangay Lamak, Municipality of Pinamungahan, Province of Cebu, wherein in 1970s, previously, there were no roads, no electricity, and no potable water. But God had a plan. We believe that God had a plan, everything in our life, wherein the Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative was the former Lamak Samahang Nayon that was organized by 70 farmers, mobilizing an initial capital of 3,500 pesos in 1973. And through their sacrifices, God valued their sacrifices through their active volunteerism. That's why they were able to gain, nakuha po nila yung wala sa kanila tulad ng walang kalsada, walang electricity at potable water. Because of this, the Lamak MPC's original and early members contributed whatever talents and resources they have for the benefit of the community. From chipping in capital, small capitals for the organizer, the pioneer members of 70 farmers, they only chip in 50 pesos each of them. That's why they have this initial capital of 3,500. From chipping in capital to opening up roads, to setting up electrical power, to creating businesses, to providing water and more, the members, the pioneer members, we are so proud of them. They did it with gusto. Their willingness, their commitment, their passion to help, not for themselves, but for the community. And indeed, from way back, the Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative is existing since 1973, but we are now out for about 40 years of existence. And as a cooperative, we are registered by the Cooperative Development Authority, March 13, 1992, and we believe that God took over because now, Barangay Lamak, we are so proud of the sacrifices offered by the pioneer members. Barangay Lamak now became a self-sustained community through the spirit of the cooperative movement. And we are so thankful na kami yung, although we are not from the Southern Luzon, we are here in Visayas, we are so proud and happy that we are invited by the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And we are an affiliate also, affiliate member of the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Then these are now the offices. We have now 42 branches and 7 satellite offices. We just started here in the sa Bukid po, dito sa Lamak, but later on we spread the good news not only for the capital but for the spiritual, the essence of being one, bayanihan system. And now we are operating from the provinces of Cebu, province of Bohol, Negros Occidental, Leyte, and Southern Leyte. And these are our offices. And we are so proud we are able to create such kind of offices because the people on that area decided, they are willing to become a member, not only a member of the cooperative, but the owner. Owner po sila ng kooperatiba. Ito po yung mga opisina na namin. And we are so thankful to the management and the officers of leading this cooperative since 1973 until now that we are under an operation. Allow me to share to you that we are also happy. We are so happy that the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture visited our place here in Lamak last December last year. So we are so happy that he was able to see our different kind of agriculture, agri-enterprises here in the sa bukid dito po sa Lamak. And just recently, this month, June, the Secretary of the Department of Agrarian Reform, Secretary John Castriciones, was able to also visited us here during the giving of the CLOA for our farmer members also that ilang years na nagtitiil sa land and they were able to gain now the certificate of land ownership award to them. So thank you for visiting here in Lamak. So the adverse effects of pandemic, so during the last year, we are so affected by it. We have the declination of operations. So in our financial operations, our 41 branches temporarily closed from March 27 until June. So only the Lamak main office here in Barangay Lamak is maintained open, but on skeletal workforce. So we believe the management decided that this is not time, no, during the lockdown, this is not time that we have to close, because this is the moment that the cooperative movement to give action, especially to the owner of the cooperative, to the members, no, that during sa kanilang mga challenges, nandyan pa rin yung kooperatiba kung saan sila pupunta, kung saan sila hihingi ng mga tulong. So non-financial operations, we have also managed and owned a resort. So we temporarily closed from April to July, and we resumed resorts operation during month of August 2020. Only skeletal force. So we have a net loss of 4.7 million. Only our agri, co-op mart, water system, gasoline station are open. We're opened during that situation during the lockdown. And we have this, don't have any meetings in our members and to our officers, no conduction of annual assembly to our members. So the employment also, we are affected also because we have the retrenchment of employees. So we offer early retirement for employees ages 55 and above. And we have the forced leaves, and our operating hours is only limited. So skeletal workforce, from Monday to Friday, only 6 hours. So these are big impact during our financial, because this is the time that we don't have any collections of regarding the obligation of the members in payment of their loans. So in our market also, we have the closure of institutional markets, just like Chowking, where our clustering of our vegetables, our farmer members, they produce for the production for production and supply for the stores. But during the time, it was closed. No? So we are very sad for them, but we continue to serve them. But on how? So these are our innovations undertake. So before COVID-19 or any kind of pandemic, Lamak MPC already have a technical working group on disaster team in creation of the business continuity plan. And we are so thankful by the Land Bank of the Philippines for guiding us on how to produce, how to have this business continuity plan in preparation of any kind of situation or pandemic. Now, to sustain lives, minimize suffering, and protect property in a timely and effective manner in communities that become overrun by disasters. So on April 4, the board of directors decided, they have this meeting, decided and produce a resolution allocating an initial amount of 10 million to be taken from the optional fund of Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative for the purchase of relief goods and financial assistance to members Visayas-wide for co-op officers, staff, and frontliners during the implementation of enhanced community quarantine due to COVID-19 pandemic. And our innovations also, we undertake taking care of our members. So we have this rice distribution to our members as one of the part of the 10 million, and giving of dairy products to the frontliners. So we are so thankful to the frontliners being there in protection of the community, and in partnership also with the Jollibee Group Foundation, we have this food aid during for any kind to the frontliners and to our members, owner of the cooperative. And other than that, we have this 4-month moratorium to all loans from March to June to our members. And for our employees and officers, they have access to calamity loan for 20,000 each, no interest. And COVID assistance also, relief goods, retrenched staff, managed farm-owned lot by the cooperative. So the one we have retrenched the following employees, we also invited them that the lot owned by the cooperative for the production of vegetables into agriculture. So we invited them to manage the farm lot. Then they have still the income in their life. And then we have this partnership also with different kind of government agencies, just like the Department of Agriculture. So through the Kadiwa in Ani at Kita, we are being partner of them. So the partner, our members, our farmer members, hindi po sila naging sad because yung produce nila, yung product nila ay pinaano pa rin namin, pinasupply pa rin namin through their Kadiwa. So we have entered all the barangays during the lockdown, and we take risk, no, especially to our staff in managing this Kadiwa distribution of goods, of the food for the community being locked down. And in partnership also with the DTI, we have this partnership with them in livelihood seeding program, and ACPC for their continued expanded Sure Aid and Recovery Project, Sure Aid COVID-19, and also the Anyo and Kaya program. So many of our farmer members, instead of decreasing our membership, it became tumaas po siya dahil itong mga programa galing sa Department of Agriculture and different kind of government agencies. And we are so thankful of them that the Lamak Multipurpose became their conduit in making this program available to others, especially to the farmers. And we have also this free-range chicken production for our marginalized women farmers. And we have also this contest we did, just like happening here in Cebu, the Sugbusug. Here in our cooperative, we take risk, and we also make as a model to everyone, our members, our staff and officers. We have the contest for them to our program, the PPP, plant. So plant 7 varieties herbal for health regimen, and plant 7 varieties of vegetables for food in the table, to assure food in the table. No matter what, kung ano lang, maliit lang yung lugar mo, but you have innovative. We have the innovative initial also to how to plant just beside their home, no? Magkaroon naman sila ng mga food on the table, assurance of food on the table. We have also planned 7 varieties of ornamentals for IGP and the household beautification. So these are the common we did for our members, for our staff and officers, no, to do that hindi maging hindrance ang magkaroon meron tayong pandemic, but this is a way of giving importance of how to survive, teach them how to survive through these programs of the cooperative. We have also a partnership with the Department of Agriculture on their food subsidy distributions. So many of our farmers and supplier of eggs, we have assisted them, and as a link, as a conduit, we are the one distributing to the farmers, especially chosen by the different kind of local government units in the area of Cebu and Bohol. So resiliency mechanism, we have this resiliency mechanism, and we are yes to that. It's a great restart for our to begin the business of our farmer members. So Resiliency Fund proposed allocation of 1 million per year as Resiliency Fund to be taken through the dividend, members equity, community as the CGF, and fundraising. So Livelihood Recovery Program, we have also the soft loan in partnership with the Land Bank of the Philippines, the iRescue loan and the iCare loan. Assistance to members affected by pandemics, any kind of disasters for them. Then relief goods, then consumer access. So making the branch and satellite office as outlet of basic commodities, agriculture, etc. No, that kind of basic commodities that needs, no, where our members don't have to travel afar just to buy their needs, but our branches and satellite offices, they can also buy their basic commodities. And we have also this digitalization of all programs and services, our online membership and marketing. So we continue all the kind of the smart activities that we have through the partnership and affiliations of different kind of government agencies. So instead of closing our offices, we rather, during the pandemic, during the lockdown, we rather opening of satellite offices. So for our members' accessibility, just to help them na kung saan sila na problema po sila kung saan sila lalapit. So we are now opening for them, to access their needs, to answer the needs, and we are so thankful again to the Department of Agriculture to be making Lamak Multipurpose their conduit partner in distributing, in accessing their programs for our members or for our non-members also. So specific innovations we have features in our cooperative is the value chain, our clustering approach. We cluster every kind of products in our agriculture. So this is a partnership. This is the program we adopted from the Catholic Relief Services in partnership with the Jollibee Group Foundation. So we also have this holistic support from technical, from finance to financial, then to marketing. It's a wholesome services for access. Pwede nating ma-access dun sa ating mga membro. Kompleto po siya, so no need to worry. And through this, our clustering approach can be studied and can be, pwede silang mag-aral doon kung paano gagawin ito dito through our farm school, our agritourism site. And this farm school was created in partnership with the Department of Agriculture, the Agricultural Training Institute, and the TESDA, and we are now accredited, a farm school. And Department of Tourism has became the place here in Lamak as agritourism site. So hopefully from Camarines Sur or from the South Luzon, hope you can visit also Lamak, and we can see to we can present this to you, our different kind of agri-enterprise. So in our partnership with the Philippine Carabao Center and the Department of Trade and Industry, we have this multiplier farm. So we have the program also of dispersal program to our farmers. Instead of waiting para ma-harvest na yung mga crops nila, they have diversified program, and we have this buffalo dairy production, milk production. So sasabihin nga nila na ang kita sa dairy, ang kita ay daily. So every now, kung mayroong gatas, bibilhin ng kooperatiba, hindi na mapoproblema yung mga farmer. So ang kooperatiba na yung bibili ng kanilang gatas. Just imagine, 40 pesos per gallon, I think 40 or 60, around 60. And every day, makaano sila ng mga around 4 to 6 liters a day. So kikitain nila every day. Ang laki na, no? Another income for our farmer members. Then we have this processing plant of our dairy. We have a partner also with the steel, with the Department of Agriculture, Philippine Carabao Center, and the Department of Trade and Industry. Through this program, in partnership with the Department of Education, through the help of the PCC, we are now having producing pasteurized milk for the supply to the program of Department of Education in feeding program. So around almost more than 30,000 students, mga bata o mga pupils yung naka-beneficiary ng kanilang feeding program in partnership with the Philippine Carabao Center in La Carlota in Negros. And we are now continuing, still coming pa din yung mga supply namin para doon sa kanilang feeding program. And also in partnership with the DTI and Department of Agriculture, we have this cassava production. So partner po namin din yung San Miguel Foods Corporation para supply sa kanilang needed para doon sa kanilang cassava chips, yung granulated na cassava. So yan po, tuloy-tuloy namin na ini-encourage namin yung farmers na yung mga secluded area, especially yung mga mga members namin na nakatanggap ng award from the DAR, no, para doon sa land ownership. So pwede nilang gawin tamna ng kasaba in partnership also. We can lead the Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative, can also assess them through their financial needs. So continuous pa din yung shared service facilities of the DTI. So we are so proud na nakatanggap kami ng kanilang mga shared service facilities of equipments in chipping and drying of our cassava chips. Still, we are able to have this also this cacao production. More of siguro around mga 100 hectares na yung napatanim na namin na mga cacao dito sa Cebu at saka sa Leyte. So in partnership with the Department of Agriculture, the DTI, and Land Bank of the Philippines. So continue pa rin yung namin at sigurado na din, clustering pa rin from production, kung sino yung bibili ng kanilang mga seeds, basa po na seeds, wet beans, so bibilihin ng kooperatiba para i-produce at dadalhin sa aming processing plant ng tableya, gawing tableya, local chocolate. So yan po yung ginagawa natin para continue pa rin yung value chain of every product. And also our vegetables, so hindi namin sila, ang kooperatiba ay hindi nang pinababayaan yung mga farmers namin ng mga gulay, kundi especially kung yung nagsirado na po yung mga institutional markets. So we continue them, collecting them, consolidating their produce, and believe ang alam lang nila na until kopra lang yung mga products nila. Pero through the processing plant, we're able to create a different kind of products of coconut, and many job employment we have generated in the processing plant. So just recently also, we opened up the Smart Food Value Chain and Manufacturing Village there in Tuburan, Cebu, in partnership with the Department of Science and Technology, Department of Agriculture, Department of Trade of Industry, and Bureau of Fishery Aquatic Resources. So patuloy pa din, no? Wala tayong hindi po tayo nagko-close, hindi po tayo nag-ano ng serbisyo para dun sa mga ating mga membro at gustong maging membro ng kooperatiba. And still for our farmers also on rice and corn production, patuloy pa din yung namin assistance, no? So we are able to turn over a rice pre-harvest facility for the farmer or association in Barangay Punud, and also here in different kind of barangays in Pinamungahan through the cooperative and with the convergence of the different kind of government agencies. Then we have this hog raising program, no? Also another different kind diversified program for our farmer members in partnership with the Virginia Farms Incorporated. So yung sistema po namin ito is buyback. So kami yung galing pa din sa Virginia yung feeds, sila pa din yung bibili ng mga baboy. So hindi na po maproblema yung mga membro kung saan nila yung mga baboy nila, kung saan nila ibebenta, dahil assured na buyback program ng Virginia Farms Incorporated. And also in partnership with the Bureau of Fishery and Aquatic Resources, we have this milk fish cages. So in Northern Cebu, no, naging partner po namin, naging po namin yung BFR in partnership para tulong naman doon sa mga mahilig sa mga fisher folks. And their produce can be bibilhin ng kooperatiba at dadalhin doon sa Smart Food Value Chain para mag-create ng mga sardines. So upcoming na po yung mga sardines natin. Hopefully there in Camarines Sur, I believe also na marami ding nag-produce nito niyan, pero subukan niyo pong bilhin yung aming produce na sardines para naman matikman ninyo. Then in partnership also with Smart, so patuloy pa din, then online na yung namin transaction. So ito yung pinapartner namin, Smart Ka-Partner Portal. And this is for especially for the women, no, living in their sari-sari store, so they have access loading, so different kind of programs in Smart. So yung ano namin, kooperatiba, patuloy pa din yung tulong namin sa mga youth. Kaya we believe the success without succession is a failure. So patuloy pa din namin create yung mga skills and knowledge ng aming mga youth. So ito po yung isa sa mga programa nila, yung SAGEP Youth, Sustainable Agricultural Education Program. So this program educates the youth to engage themselves into agri-enterprises and realize that there is money in agriculture. So to inspire them, to give them encouragement to join on making livelihood through farming. No? So ito po yung mga different kind of activities ng ating mga youth. And isa doon sa mga program din ng ating youth is Garment Center Design and Prints. So partner namin, shared service facilities pa din ng Department of Trade and Industry. We're able to upgrade our sewing production, embroidery. So ito na po yung mga machines, no, na na-acquire namin galing sa DTI. And hopefully aabot na din yung embroidery machine namin. So mag-upgrade na po yung ano namin ng aming sewing, yung aming garment center. So turnover, just recently, we are so thankful to the Department of Agriculture for the turnover of agri-projects. We are able now to meron po kaming nakuha ang mga project na tractor for our corn and cassava production and hauling truck for our vegetables in their Kadiwa na ano siya, inclusive food supply chain program para doon sa mga from farm until to the consumers, towards the consumers through the cooperative with the help of the Department of Agriculture. At ito naman yung different kind of better normal innovations we have, no? Construction of soft bailage. So ano ba yung soft? Soft stands for Sustainable Organic Farm Town. So nagsisimula po tayo nag-create dito po sa Barangay Punod, Pinamungahan, Cebu. So meron siyang 700 square meter. So maliit lang yung bahay niya, pero the rest of the 700 square meter is more on agricultural products. Para naman we have the assured, no? Hindi na nila there's a food on the table, assurance of food on the table before market, no? Dahil ito naman yung kinakailangan natin eh. Mayroon tayong pagkain. Hindi tayo mahirapan na maghanap ng pagkain because we planted it in our own beside our house, no, beside our home. So yan po. Another better normal innovation is we have this housing project, housing program for our members also na wala pang bahay. So giving them dignity na magkaroon ng kanilang bahay here in Barangay Lamak. And well, hopefully you can visit our Lamak. So this is just recently, last year, October, we opened up and blessings our head office building of Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative. Para siyang kapitolyo in the barangay. Yung ibang mga bisita nga kapag darating na dito sa Lamak, and we are so proud, no, na sabi nila, wow, parang kapitolyo dito sa Barangay Lamak. Wow, ito lang yung barangay na mayroong kapitol na ano na construction. So basic facts as of May 2021. So these are our organizational. We have our regular members of 107,133. Our youth members, 24,763. Total members of 131,896. And our financial, we just begin with our initial capital of 3,500, but now through the cooperation of our member owner of the cooperative, our share capital right now is having a 704 million with the deposits of 818 million and loan portfolio of 1.5 billion, net surplus 17.9 million, and we have now a total assets of 2.3 billion. So and counting, no, hopefully, no. The continuous the willingness of individual, of the farmer, of different kind, or the what we call this the vulnerable sectors here in our community will willing to become member and owner of the cooperative. So convergence. So a key for better normal for all through the convergence. Convergence between the local, the different kind of partner, NGOs, POs, local and international. Because we believe in our the cooperative pledge as stated, one of the statements and the cooperative pledge, no? Alone, I am weak, but with others, I am strong. Alone, we are weak, but with others, we are strong. Okay? So yan po ang napaka-gandang tingnan kapag magtutulong-tulungan tayo, no? Different kind of agencies we can have. So my last slide will be this. Allow me to share to you the message of St. Paul II. Let us remember the past with gratitude, live the present with enthusiasm, and look forward to the future with confidence. Despite the pandemic, Lamak MPC, go, grow, and glow. Thank you.
CSR, Ms. Nora Lacuna. Regional Governor for NCR South Sector, Ms. Tess Ngan Chan. Regional Governor for Region 2, Mr. Cloyd Velasco. Regional Governor for Region 6, Mr. Ronald So. Regional Governor for Region 7, Mr. Eduardo or Edward Du. Regional Governor for Southeastern Mindanao, Mr. Art Milan. Past Area Vice President for South Luzon, Mr. Eduardo Nicolas. Past Area Vice President, South Luzon, Ms. Teresita Leabres. Past Area Vice President for National Capital Region, Mr. Pete Dumana. Past Area Vice President, North Luzon, Mr. Nelson Yuchong Chan. Past Area Vice President, North Luzon, Mr. Alfonso Lau. And the President Emeritus Chairman, Utilities and Legislative, Mr. George T. Barcelon. Introduction of Speaker by Ms. Noraida M. Morada, President, PCCI Lipa.
Thank you and good day. Our next speaker is presently the Chief of Party of the BC Project, which work with the government of the Philippines to provide agencies with the tools to help the government domestic and international food safe and trade protocols. BSAFE is one project organization that implements more than 140 projects in over 46 countries to provide solutions to some of the world's most complex social, agricultural, and environmental challenges. The former dean of the UP School of Economics is still a professional lecturer at this school, course UP, focusing on trade and industrial policies, agriculture and food, as well as public sector policies, while offering consultancy services to a variety of government agencies. Today, we will hear his expert opinion on the national impact of African swine fever and an inspiring fabric aiming to solve this crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Ramon L. Clarete.
Good morning to all participants of the 30th South Luzon Area Business Conference with the theme Innovative Economy, a Better Normal for All. I wish to thank Mr. Hoover P. Carr for inviting me to give a talk during today's plenary session of the conference. He asked me to talk about the African swine fever, and I will do that. And I have two parts of it. The first one is to make an economic assessment of the impact of ASF, and then at this talk about the recovery plan of the Department of Agriculture. Next slide, please. Okay. All right. So the ASF was formally announced sometime in September 2019. And this was after we had a confirmation from the World Animal Health Organization reference laboratory that the samples that we gave to them were infected by the ASF virus. But before this, we already know that the region, East Asia, had been affected by ASF, particularly China. And we were already taking some measures against the entry of pork imports that may be infected by the virus. But unfortunately, of course, that did not stop the entry of the virus into the country. Next slide, please. And in this slide, as in other countries, the disease spread very quickly. And Girag and Associates, or GIRA, in a report they prepared for the National Pork Board in 2020 of the US, identified swill feeding, lack of biosecurity, commercial breeding, lack of respect of biosafety procedures, and insufficient government financial support as factors contributing to the rapid spread in 2019 and 2020 of the disease. I would add a particular factor that in the time that we declared the outbreak, that was the time that we had a transition of administration at the Department of Agriculture. And Secretary Dar assumed his office, inherited this particular problem of the ASF, even as he was managing the problem about the effect of the rice tariffication law. Next slide, please. So in this figure on the slide illustrates the annual inventory of the pigs, pigs, which is the dark line, and its yearly growth, the changes per year, which is the red line. So in 2021, the inventory fell by about 3.08 million heads. That means the statistics is at the start of the year, the starting inventory. So 2021 is reporting a 2020 loss. So something like 3.08 million heads were lost by the country in 2020. So this is a sharp drop of the pig population, as you can see. And next slide, please. This disaster is also reflected in the quarterly changes of the annual inventory of pigs. You can see again these curves reflecting the changes in or growth in the quarterly inventories. Well, typically we have this pattern like at the last quarter of the year, then the inventory goes down. We are going to be butchering or slaughtering our pigs, obviously for the holiday season. And then so when we start with the following year, we have the lowest inventory, and then we start building up again our quarterly inventory. However, in the 2019 and 2020, we can see that there was just a sharp plummet of quarterly inventory, reflecting the disease. It did not recover anymore. Okay, next slide, please. This slide, this slide, which is shows the geographic distribution of the ASF disease, and it hit the island of Luzon most. The chart on this slide shows the regional incidence of ASF in 2020, and Central Luzon and Calabar Zone, which happens to be the country's top 2 regional pork producers, servicing the country's largest pork market, which is the National Capital Region. They were the badly hit, worst hit. The Visayan region, particularly Western Visayas, which is the 3rd largest regional producer, hardly show any incidence of the disease. So that was good. That was other regions on this chart, also like Central Visayas and Northern Mindanao, had 2 opposite effects. So you can see some growth yet in the region. Particularly Visayas and Mindanao were less hit by the disease. I think thanks to the archipelagic nature of our country, it did not spread as quickly as it spread in Luzon. Okay, so next slide. This is now showing pattern of regional incidence of ASF can be seen on this slide on the pork output, not the inventory anymore. The indicator used in this percentage change of the 2020 pork output from the average regional pork output from 2016 to 2019, okay? A negative value of the indicator may mean just that because of either the ASF disease or a region had relatively very low average pork output in 2016 to 2019. Central Luzon is the the region that is most hit, having a 28.36% reduction of pork output, followed by Batangas or Calabarzon, and Batangas, I think, is the most important province of that region. It had 8% loss. And the rest of the slide shows how the other regions were impacted, but they were only impacted slightly by the ASF disease. The average loss of pork output throughout the entire country, of course, is very low, just 6%. Caraga and Bicol regions, not major regional pork producers, lost pork output at a rate worse than the national average, but they are not major producers. So even if the average is just 6%, the impact is so large because the top 2 regions were the most badly hit, and they were serving the main market of pork, which is the National Capital Region. So that's a situation why it became in a crisis situation for the country. In fact, next slide. Okay, I did some regression analysis on this one, econometric analysis. Yes, yearly it would just be 7.36% change in the inventory because of ASF. But again, we should not downplay the seriousness of the problem, because down in the main regions like Central Luzon and Calabarzon, I mean, if you sum up all the losses, that's around 3 million pigs that were lost. And some of those pigs are the inahin, are the breeders. So that really hurts the capability of the country to produce additional pigs for slaughter. Okay. Now, what I'm going to discuss in the next slide. Now, I just have to be careful because I'm reading my notes. I'm not sure whether the slide is This should be slide 9 now. Yes, this is the one that I'm. Thank you very much, Maya. Okay. Let me go back to my notes. Okay. On this slide, the slide of pork production loss estimate is important. Why? Because I'm going to do a simulation on the impact of that on the economy. That would be the next slide. So we discussed this with Dr. Ruth Sonako of the International Training Center on Pig Husbandry. JIRA had the worst estimate, which is really around half of our pork output would be gone by 2021. So, but then we ended up with something like probably around the average of what the DA thinks is the loss and what JIRA, the private sector's loss would be. So I used 35%. So about a third of our pork output every year got lost because of ASF. So the question now, what is the economic impact of that? Next slide, please. A little briefing about the model. So this is an economic model of the entire Philippines. And it has 53 industries, 17 of which are agricultural. And the household sector or the consumer sector are represented by 10 income deciles. This is what we call in economics as a computable general equilibrium model. So what we do with this is we introduce the loss in pork output because of ASF and compute another equilibrium, economic equilibrium of the economy, and compare that with the equilibrium before I introduced the loss in pork output. And that kind of analysis is what we call in economics as a CGE model analysis or computable general equilibrium analysis. So next slide, please. I did 3 equilibria computations. So when we say computing this, there's a system of equations describing the equilibrium of the economy, and we use an computer software to compute the equilibrium. And I computed 3 equilibria. The first one is before the ASF. The second one is you have an ASF, which is a loss of around 35% of pork output, but you don't change the imports. You hold the imports the same. Then thirdly, the loss in ASF plus imports are allowed to increase. So those are the 3 equilibrium scenario that I computed. So next slide, please. So in this slide, starting with this slide on primary impact on primary agriculture or agriculture performance, I now discuss the results of the analysis, okay? So how did ASF affect primary agriculture? Okay. So to recall, we had a 35% loss in pork output. Then we compute equilibrium and compare this in the situation without the loss in pork output. So agricultural output may go down by 5.14%. I use the word may instead of will because this is a simulation, a what if. If the pork output went down by 35%, then agricultural output may go down by about 5.14%. And that would be about 149 billion pesos. Okay. Pork output may fall by 35%. That's what we introduced as a shock to the economy. And then we trace the impact of that on the other industries associated with pig production, such as poultry, other livestock, corn, and agriculture services. Then we also see that they are badly affected relative to the other agricultural industries. So that is revenues, outputs. So let's talk about value added or the GVA, gross value added for agriculture. GVA of primary agriculture, including forestry and fisheries, is lower by 79.7 billion pesos. So if we don't do any repopulation, if we don't do anything to address the ASF problem, we will be losing this yearly. So that is how bad the ASF had impacted them. So it is really a must for us to really rebuild the industry, because we're losing around nearly 80 billion pesos yearly because of the ASF. We cannot afford that. The piggery industry is one of the most promising and more successful industries in Philippine agriculture after rice. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, in this slide, the distribution of the losses by primary industries is shown. Of course, we expect hogs to be the most badly hit, okay? We're talking here about how the losses are distributed across the primary industries. The value-added loss in pig production amounts to 45.6 billion pesos. Other industries with significant losses in revenue are the ag service